California Chrome has gone into overdrive. He's 2 lengths in front. He's clear of Mubtahij battling on. Then Wish, but it's California Chrome in front. It's Alchemy in Dubai. Chrome turns to gold.
And they're into the stretch, and it's the Breeders' Cup winner. It's Arrogate in front, leading by 3 with 1/8 of a mile to go. Shaman Ghost is trying to get into second. Then Neolithic. Back fourth is Noble Bird, followed by Keen Ice. But what a race! What a sport! What a horse! Arrogate romps in the Pegasus. He won it by 3.5.
Well, Frank, it's just incredible to be back again and to have the good fortune to have a horse like Arrogate succeeding the brilliance of another superstar in California Chrome.
Yeah, we're very appreciative to Judd Mott and Bob Baffert for looking at the Dubai World Cup as part of their program. And yeah, we're fortunate, Actually, California Chrome 2 years in a row, and then Arrogate. It shows that I think we're in the right position, the right time for these horses, and it's a good purse and good distance. So all those things are facets of getting the classic horse of the 2,000 meter.
The interesting thing is one never wants to accuse the Americans of being parochial, but this is a win-win situation because it gives the connections of Arrogate an opportunity to show him to the rest of the world on a completely different stage.
Well, that's the whole mindset of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and the team, for the Dubai World Cup. We want to gather all the countries from around the world and compete on one stage. And this is probably the most unique race day in the world. There's a lot of great features of programs around the world, the Arc and Melbourne Cup and Breeders' Cup. But, when you look at the Dubai World Cup and the amount of countries and the different races we have, I think it's just a great day to be participating as an owner. Great for the fans, for the media, the coverage, and great for us as a provider of the sport, to be experienced that night.
I was reading a very interesting article written by Princess Haya with regard to the fact that it's not all about prize money. It is one of the richest days, in fact the richest day on the planet, but there are aspects for various different levels of horse to participate in.
There is, and I think you have to look at our sport. We're all in that. We're all in it in different facets, and money is very important to us for everyone. I mean, the purses are important, but be able to compete with different trainers from around the world, and say you left there and you beat a Japanese horse, you beat a French horse, you beat a UK horse. It's trying to meet these horses on the stage, a world stage, and compete against them. I think that's what drives all of us, the horsemen and the staff and the media. The coverage of that competition is fantastic.
Horse racing is obviously a sport that is cast in time. It's got a great fabric and a great history. There have been changes over here from Nad Al Sheba to Maidan, to Peter, back to the dirt. Is there any kind of vision for the future in respect of staying with grass and bringing in another surface, or are you going to keep it in line with the American preference of racing on dirt?
Well, I think where we have, as we have racing behind us, with the simulators, I think when the board looked at the decision to go back to the dirt, it was to go back to what was successful in Nad Al Sheba. And I think if you look at the last years on the dirt, you'll say to yourself, yes, it was the right decision to get the best horses from America and North America on the dirt. It fills that void. And, the Japanese have been a great provider of that. And of course, our own population, our local population has now made the change. And you can see the advance of those horses in the carnival and on World Cup night.
And finally, Frank, the date of the actual race, is it set in stone? Because obviously when you look at the caliber of a race like the Shima Classic, it's extremely high class, but it's quite small when you think about the total volume of horses that are eligible for that particular distance on grass.
Well, yes, that's very true, but probably 30 days ago we were at 14, you know what I mean? And we've lost, you have that situation. And I think that's one of the things that maybe it's hard to explain to people when you have 14 countries coming from around the world, flying so many miles in preparation to compete on one day. You've got logistics of quarantine, you've got logistics of travel, and everything's got to be on site everything's got to be perfect for them to make that trip. And if it's not, you respect those connections to say, we're not going to come. And that's where you find that change is happening. I think the thing, too, is when you have a Postpone, a Jack Hobbs, a Highland Reel, those are three pretty tough horses, let me tell you.
Yeah, so it's almost like Team de Kock, quality as opposed to quantity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what you see. But, look, the Gold Cup is an amazing race this year of the quality that we have early. We had 9 group runners right away that were pointing for it. And those are great signs. Dubai Turf is a good race. But I think when you talk about the Shima and the size, we did have a good bit. We had a couple Japanese horses. They just decided to they weren't hurt. They just decided to make a change and go a different route. Okay, they were nice horses. They were Group 1 winners. You imagine throwing them into the mix and get 9, 10 horses like that. All of a sudden, you got 6, 7 Group 1 winners. That's a good program. So we appreciate it. We like the field we got, and we hope that everyone enjoys the program and the night.
One final question. On the way over here, I watched an incredibly insightful video put together by Godolphin, sparing no expense. Mm-hmm. And the ease with which horses move out of their yard at Newmarket to Stansted to here is surreal compared to what the South African horses have to go through. That is no fault of anybody's other than the European Union. I'm not going to drag you into that particular slinging match, but how important is the South African participation in the Dubai World Cup and the Carnival?
Well, South Africa is important for everywhere around the world, not just Dubai. I think we all know that people are traveling from coast to coast, world to world, continent to continent, and those are all important facts. So, yes, we appreciate South African support here in the Dubai World Carnival, the World Cup, and we look forward that hopefully down the road future changes will happen in shipping and protocols.